Hello and welcome to the Kit Locker, sponsored by Blacksite Media. I'm Simon, and today our beautiful model Jason is showing us SP team equipment from around 1987 up to about 1996. So a little bit of a progression from the previous video that we saw from the kit, the early 80s, 1983. We have still got the old reliable Mark II suede vest in use here with its distinctive green aircrew knife patch, and we've got stun grenades of the same L13 variety. These are a variant grenade. These are just flash and sound. The ones we saw in the previous video with the grey tops were CS impregnated. These are differentiated by the green tin top there. What we can also see here is that our communication system has changed. This is the Cougar fist mic that's readily recognizable from many reference pics of the time, and that connects to the Cougar radio. Now, on the Mark II suede vest originally, the side radio pouch here was for the Storno radios, so slightly narrower. The Cougar won't fit in. So what they did as a temporizing measure was put the Cougar into a rear belt mounted green pouch, and if you'd like to turn around, we can demonstrate that. From reference pictures of the time, this seems to be the kind of the fix that they used before these vests began to be adapted for Cougar radios, and the later Mark III vests had a Cougar radio pouch integral to them as well. If you'd like to turn around to the front again, we could see the MP5 still with the double mag clamp for the 30-round magazines, and now we've got an underslung Maglite for weapon illumination. That's an innovation of this period. You can also see the Fireman's axe is held in situ in the dedicated pouch on the right part of the body. The belt kit going down is now generally made by Paul Evers, Holsters International, and we've got an arrangement of a new open elasticated mag pouch for 30-round magazines, usually worn on the left leg for a right-handed shooter, and also a dual mag pouch for Sig Sauer magazine, Sig Sauer P226, that particular sidearm being introduced at around about 1987. If you'd just like to turn to your side, we can see that there's a dedicated Paul Evers holster for the Sig as well, there with the 20-round mag in situ, and a Kevlar lanyard. Weapon retention has become a feature seen more commonly now. You could see the aircrew gloves. If you'd just like to turn around to the front, we can have a look at those. In the previous video we had some black aircrew gloves, very fine calf leather, and these are the green ones, which are sort of more and more obvious now that you look at reference pictures. For whatever reason green was chosen as opposed to black, I don't know, but they certainly do seem to have been commonly held by most troopers in the team rotation for this kind of work. You'll notice as well that the respirator has changed. We're now into the S series of respirators by Avon Rubber, the S10 and the SF10, and this one here is a dedicated SF10 Special Forces version with dual canister ports, so one on either side, one which is using here the an interim canister. So the L12 is the very common NBC canister you see from the 90s onwards, but this was an interim canister, the L10A1, which was around for a few years. It's a composite metal and plastic one, whereas the later L12s, which many of you might be familiar with, they're a bit thicker, a bit chunkier, and they're all plastic. But this is one of the L10s. These are relatively rare to see nowadays, and they look superficially similar to the L12. This one with a red training band around the canister to designate that it's being used for training. We've also got, in addition, some head protection. Now, this is something that we've seen in a number of reference pictures from the time. You don't always see it in pictures, but we've got some more coming which will show it. It's a Pro-Tec, essentially like a whitewater rafting helmet, a sort of a bump helmet. And you see this particularly the American forces in films like Black Hawk Down. The Navy SEALs are wearing these bump helmets, and the SAS SP team adopted them as well. They are not a ballistic helmet, obviously. They're a plastic helmet with a foam liner, but they do give a bit of head protection, which is probably a good idea in terms of running through buildings, maybe bashing your head on the door. You may want to have something sort of softening the blow a little, but obviously it won't stop any ballistic ammunition that's being fired at you. So from the point of view of this setup, you can see it's a little bit the same, a little bit different, but we've got something that's approaching perhaps a slightly more streamlined and practical look. The leather belt kit, no closures on those, open access to the magazines and so on. And you've got an improvement in terms of overall protection with the new Nomex suits which were supplied by GD Specialist Supplies. And if you'd just like to turn to your right, Jason, we can see that you've got the ID window on the arms of the suits here, Romeo 1 Alpha here, or Red 1 Alpha, or whatever designation there may be for a team member from a particular squadron or group, identifying each trooper individually for the purposes of operational efficiency. You turn back to the front now, please. So that pretty much completes the setup for this period from the late 80s into roughly the mid-90s. So this setup goes on for quite a long time. In terms of other innovations, we're not going to see much happening probably until the early 2000s, which is going to be a couple of videos down the line, and we'll have a look in our next video at equipment from around the late 90s, 1997 to about 2003, and we will look forward to seeing you there. Do like and subscribe to the Kit Locker. Ask your friends to come and have a look at our content as well. Send it around, and we will be very keen to see you next time. Thanks very much for joining us.